In the latest behind the scenes trailer for the upcoming game Space Marine 2, we get a small glimpse of Titus during his service to the Deathwatch. This video is going to be dedicated to that brand new Warhammer lore, all about him during those days of service and how it led to him back with the Ultramarines in the current story for Space Marine 2. Now, after Titus was taken from stasis in an inquisitorial fortress belonging to the Inquisitor known as Thrax, he and several other Marines were taken to a Watchkeeper's fortress to be evaluated. After no taint of chaos was found, Titus entered the service of the Deathwatch as a Black Shield, hiding his former identity from his new brothers. He formed a new identity and took the name Nullius. All he wanted to do is serve the Imperium again, the best of his ability, to protect mankind and purge those who seek to do harm to the Imperium. During this service, Titus/Nullius has demonstrated a very good familiarity with many of these new Xenos threats to the Imperium. He's learnt his craft well, and he's learnt to combat every foe he's fought against so far. During this service, we now learn that Titus/Nullius was in the Deathwatch when the Fourth Tyrannic War was declared. This was the biggest Tyranid invasion the galaxy has seen so far, the Segmentum Pacificus being the main battleground for this new war. Chapters, fortress worlds, entire resources belonging to the Imperium have already been lost to the Tyranids during this new war. Even with the Soul Blades launching against the Tyranids, they're still gaining ground against the Imperium, stripping world after world of all biomatter and resources. The Deathwatch have many fortresses scattered in the western parts of the Imperium, and all the strike forces belonging to them were activated to combat the Tyranids. Watchmaster Varian Channel, the Black Castellan of the Watcherkeep, authorized his watch company Primus to join up with Deathwatch forces dispatched from Fort Obsidius in several Imperial systems in the Segmentum Pacificus. Titus, as part of Kill Team Caesarian, deployed with his kill team to the Residus system via a Corvus Blackstar. Now, we know this Residus system is the system which the main focus of Space Marine 2 is based on. This is where all the planets are. So Titus and his kill team were sent there before he was there as an Ultramarine. Titus and his kill team were deployed to help the Imperial Guard forces across the system to combat the Tyranid foes, because recently the Indomitus Crusade had taken millions of troops and resources from the system to fight against the great enemy known as Chaos. So the planets were left vulnerable to these new Xenos attacks. While en route to one of these defense points, Titus and his kill team were set upon in their Corvus Blackstar by a horde of gargoyles. The Blackstar was brought down along with Titus and his team, and they had to defend themselves on the ground against mass hordes of Xenos enemies. And of course, the thing to note, this is the scene that we see in that behind the scenes trailer. We can make out like chapters like Blood Angels, or maybe it's a Raven Guard. We see Titus actually forced out the Corvus Blackstar as it's being overwhelmed by the gargoyles and brought down to the planet's surface. When they were battling on the ground, it was here that Titus was gravely wounded. A Tyranid Carnifex ripped through his squad, leaving Titus's body bleeding and broken. As he was ready to commit his soul to the Emperor, his Deathwatch squad all killed around him. It was then that the skies lit with fire and the warriors of Ultramar descended from the sky. The Ultramarines had also been sent to the sector to help the Imperium forces, and in doing so, they saved Titus from certain death. And this is now where our story begins. Titus has been taken back. His name is Titus again. He now serves as a lieutenant in the Ultramarine 2nd Company. He's been upgraded to this new Primaris Marine bulky skin, and he's ready to purge the Xenos. The rest of his Deathwatch squad, as far as we're aware, have been wiped out, and it's just Titus serving with the Ultramarines. I am hoping personally that in Space Marine 2, we have a mission where we get to play as Titus during that Deathwatch last stand with him and his brothers from his watch fortress as they combat the Tyranid foes. Maybe like a tutorial mission to learn new people on how this game plays, how it works, what weapons they are, what action buttons they are, block buttons, that kind of thing. I really do think that this could be a great thing for people not only to see Titus serving in the Deathwatch, but also to see this link up from that time in his service to where he is now with the Ultramarines. Fingers crossed the developers do that in a cinematic or, as I mentioned, in a gameplay type of mode. And on that note, Chaperonios, thank you for coming, thank you for watching. I'm sure there's going to be a lot more information in the game about this new lore. We will see, of course, Titus's new squad question him about his past. Maybe he'll open up more about his service in the Deathwatch. Maybe he'll open up about the service that he had on Graia and the chaos shenanigans and what happened on that world. But there's still way more to come. The game is, what, 2 months away now, if I'm not mistaken, for being launched. So I expect to see more story stuff being put out by the developers during that launch parade. Anyway, thank you for coming, thank you for watching. If you've got any thoughts, feedback, anything like that, post it down below and I'll do my best to try and help you out. See ya, have a good day, and bye-bye.